I'm Becky Buttons, and in this video, I'm going to fix shit up. Alright, so this button making machine came back into the shop for repair. It is pretty beat up. It's got some scar marks here, which means it's been jammed and somebody tried to use a screwdriver to unjam it, which is a big no-no. There are videos on our website already on how to unjam the machine without damaging your dies. So if that ever happens to you, please watch that video before doing this. It's also very loose here. But before we get started troubleshooting this machine, I just want to go over my supplies. I have a basic socket wrench set, the cheap one from Home Depot. I have a screwdriver. I have Allen wrenches, and I have food grade machine oil, silicone based machine lubricant. I use the food grade variety because it is less greasy on my machine, but any silicone based lubricant will do the job. You can get that at any hardware store. I also have Aaron can and some paper towels. So the first thing that I want to do is replicate the conditions that the customer said that the problem. I want to replicate the problem the customer reported. So to do that, I'm going to use a cut graphic, shell, and in this case, it's magnet backs. When I go to start troubleshooting this machine, I'm going to switch to plain 24-pound office paper. And if you're having problems at home with your machine, I recommend that you only use plain office paper for your troubleshooting purposes because, believe it or not, some problems can occur because the paper is too thick or it's got too much of a waxy coating on your laser prints. Weird things like that can actually cause issues. So for troubleshooting, for just to eliminate the variables, use office paper. But right now, what I'm going to do is replicate what the customer was experiencing. I can already see that this die is hanging down so low that this is not passing. So that's already a problem. Or it's not hanging down too low, actually. It's this die is sitting up too high. But let's go ahead and once again insert the shell, graphic, and some Mylar. This is, yeah, I can see already some of the problems here. All right, pull the handle down, rotate the die table, and pull the handle down again. Okay, none of that felt good. So the problem is that it's crimping too tight to where when she puts a magnet on the back, it won't actually stick to anything because the divot in here is too concave. So I'm going to start with the obvious stuff here. So when this is happening, where the machine can't actually rotate around freely, like it's hitting this, one of two things is happening. Either this die is hanging down too low, or this die is sitting up too high. If this one is too low, you'll know that because when the handle is upright resting position, this is there's space right here. But that's not occurring. Also, the solution for that is new springs. It's not to adjust these bolts on the top. So keep that in mind. Almost never need to do that. This is super loose. So the other thing that can cause this is that this die is sitting up too high. And the way that we fix that is using an Allen wrench with the on the bottom here and just tightening this down. So there's too much space right here. We just need to tighten this down. And I'm doing these videos for a couple of reasons. These machines are really well made, and a lot of the problems that happen, you can easily fix yourself. And you can also, when you buy your button making equipment from me, you can return your machine for repair, and I will repair it for free and send it back to you for free. We take really good care of our customers. We want you to be able to make buttons forever, and this machine will outlast you if you take good care of it. But a lot of times when you have these problems, you're in the middle of an order, you're on a deadline, and it's better, you know, a lot of people have, you know, you can get all this stuff locally, and most people are capable of making these types of adjustments themselves. Okay, so now that's passing under that die properly. Let's go ahead and tighten this up too, so this stops wobbling. That is going to require a socket wrench right here on the bottom of this machine. So what I did is I put the handle in its down position first, turn the machine totally over, and this is actually a 12 millimeter socket wrench. I don't think it's actually the right size. I think you could go tighten it smaller, but it did the job. Okay, that feels so much better. I'm just gonna go ahead also right now and dust this out. You got to keep your machine clear of goobers. Maybe that should be obvious, but like, you know, I don't know. Also clean, you know, there's like some gunk in here. It's like sticky. So I clean my dies once again with silicone-based machine lubricant and just a paper towel. A shop towel that doesn't have dust in it is probably preferable. Hopefully you don't actually have to dig in to your dies to get the glue out. I don't know what this is I'm touching right now. But you know, so if something does spill in here, clean it out promptly so it doesn't stick. This is pretty gross. Okay. So that's still needs some additional cleaning, but just for the sake of expediency, I'm going to move this process along and try to see if I can now continue to replicate the problem. All right. I'm going to, again, just use, well, in this case, let me just go ahead and switch to the other paper just to make sure. All right. Shell, graphic, Mylar, and the magnet back. Pop them on the table like that just to make sure I only have one in my hand. Oh, it's like butter. Okay, that's not as buttery. Oh, look at that. It's perfect. That second pull wasn't as buttery as I'd like, so I'm gonna lube up these cam rollers. I mean, really, any place where metal touches metal, just lube it up. Just get some lube on there. Silicone-based machine lubricant, any kind will do. Just wipe off the excess, you know. The food grade kind is nice if you have a restaurant supply store nearby. Get that lube all. Okay, this would be nice if that stayed put. Let me just get this in all the nooks and crannies. Yeah, I can see there's more gunk. Like all up in these dies. Somebody spilled something on this, I think. All right, let's go back to the regular graphic. And flat back for magnets. Perfect. All right, the second pull. The second pull still isn't wasn't as smooth as I'd like, but this machine is working okay. And I think I'm going to call it good for this purpose of this video. I might still work on it a little bit more, but I'm just going to be lubing stuff and tightening bolts. But otherwise, this machine is good to go. Fixed.